First of all, just want to say thank you to all of you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to again join us for the Voluntary Benefits Shop's bi-weekly webinar series. Today, I'm very happy to have the team from Jellyvision with us. We have Jack and Brian and Lori from Jellyvision here to share with us some information about Jellyvision, how it can help employees make great decisions at open enrollment and understand their benefit options in a better way, and also in a very efficient way. So I'll let them do the information on that. Before we do get started with that, just the quick commercial on the Voluntary Benefits Shop for those that maybe are not familiar with us. Again, I'm Mike Walker, the president. And at the Voluntary Benefits Shop, what we do is we work with brokers and their clients to help bring the best in voluntary benefits and services to their employees. We work with all the major carriers out there and really look to become your subject matter expert when it comes to voluntary benefits. We help you wade through the sea of information and do what's best for your clients. So for any of you, if you have those needs, you have my contact information right here on the screen, and you can reach out to us just to get advice or to start the process or to figure out what it takes to work with us. Feel free to reach out to us, after this or when the need arises. With that said, I'm gonna, just turn it over to our partners at Jellyvision. They're a good partner of ours, and again, help bring great resources to your clients to help them help their employees make great decisions at open enrollment time. So with that said, Jack, you can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Jack Bartek. I'm a channel sales manager over here at Jellyvision, primarily working with brokers and consultants like yourself, really to support their benefits communication strategies. So excited to talk a little bit more about how we can help. I also have a couple of my colleagues on the call here, Lori and Brian. I'll give them a quick second to introduce themselves as well.
Thank you, Jack. My name is Brian Telfos, and I work at Jellyvision as the Aetna sales manager. I will turn it over to Lori.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lori Kelly. I'm based in Michigan, and I lead the carrier division of Jellyvision, our carrier relationships, partnerships, and carrier sales, working with all carriers across the country. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Brian and Lori. And we're really grateful to Mike and the VB Shop for allowing us to speak today and to partner with them more so this year. So we're going to get started here. And I think the first place and a good place to start here is really to kind of define the major problem that a lot of your clients are dealing with. So every year, employers are spending about $1.2 trillion to provide healthcare benefits to their workforce. And this is a huge number, but the real problem is that 25% of that total benefit spending is just wasted each year, just about north of $300 billion. And now the question is, what's causing that waste? And some of that is just unfortunate byproducts of the US healthcare system. So when we're talking about government regulations, outdated admin systems, middle payer model, all of those things, that's one thing. But it's really important to understand that part of that waste is within your control as benefits advisors. You can really do this by guiding employees to make smart decisions when choosing and using their benefits. And I want to take a second to acknowledge the many different hats that you as brokers have to wear on a daily basis. You might have strengths in certain areas, but there's no denying kind of the depth of knowledge required to have success as an insurance broker and consultant today. So just quick kudos to you all. That's definitely not an easy thing to do. But as you know, the type of hat that you wear can really depend on the time of year or even who you're meeting with in that particular day. So, one could argue that certain responsibilities, just quite frankly, might feel more tedious than others, by which I mean the time investment might not necessarily match the increase in value to your clients. And so let's take employee communications and engagement, for example. While it's really important, especially since we've already seen the cost of employees making those wrong decisions, editing benefit guides, recording presentations, and traveling on site to talk to a room of disengaged workers might not necessarily be the best way to spend your workday. And so really where Jellyvision comes in is to wear that communications hat for you. We've spent the better part of 15 years focused on decision support and benefits communications, and we want to share that insight with benefits advisors like yourselves. But I quickly want to circle back to all of these responsibilities. I definitely think this captures what makes you so valuable to employers: the ability to be nimble, the ability to craft those strategies for really complex problems that companies are facing today. And those problems, they're not getting any easier either. HR teams are really being challenged right now. Some might be trying to fill those open positions within the company while their own teams are understaffed. The mental health needs of their workforce and all that deferred healthcare over the last 2 years, that's likely going to bottleneck the system as people go back to see their doctors, and their problems ultimately become your problems at the end of the day. But I want to focus in on a few key problems related more so closely to employee engagement and benefits communication. Benefits offerings now are really a key part of the overall employee compensation package. Really, it's kind of becoming essential to an employer's brand, so to speak. So that might be something your clients aren't necessarily used to. But as we can see on screen here, 85% of workers consider a company's benefits package before they even accept a job. And so your client's benefits offerings could really mean the difference of highly talented people coming on board or going to a competitor down the street. Additionally, if current employees don't fully understand their benefits, they're likely to perceive their company brand as lower than it actually is and just become disengaged overall. And the recent studies really show that the majority of employees don't fully engage, let alone understand their benefits. And all of this really erodes the brand and trust that you've worked so hard with your clients to establish with their employees. And at the same time, too, it's kind of hard to blame people for not fully understanding or valuing their benefits package when most of the standard methods of communication used today are just leaving employees confused. And so as we see here, 3 in 5 employees don't fully use their benefits. So there's no surprise that over half of employers think that their healthcare spend goes to waste. And one of the tough things is, employees want to understand, they want to get it. They want to be able to use all the benefits that you've put together so they can be healthy, happy, and engaged. And they want to make those smart decisions that lead to the best care possible for them and their family. But people are just tired and they want things just to be easy. And so employers and employees are really kind of yearning for a better experience when it comes to choosing and using their benefits, really in a way that makes it easy to understand. We want to drive that meaningful behavior change, build that employee trust, and get them to think about their benefits, not just times of enrollment or in times of crises, but throughout the year in a more consistent way. And also to giving HR teams that time back from those one-on-one conversation and repeat benefits questions that we all know so well that typically ramp up even more so during those enrollment periods. But really, our goal at Jellyvision, we really want to help our customers curb the rising healthcare cost, attract and retain that top talent, and really have employees value their benefits. And so we want to help employers reestablish that trust with their employees specifically. And also from your standpoint, you need a partner that you can trust. And so we understand that, when you recommend a solution that goes towards your reputation. And so before we get into our tool specifically, I like to give a little backstory on Jellyvision because I think it's really helpful to understand why we do what we do and why we take such a unique approach to benefits communication. So back in the day, in the late 90s, we actually started off as a video game company. We were creating the CD-ROM version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We did You Don't Know Jack, if any of you have played that in the past. And at some point, we switched from virtual game show hosts to virtual advisors in the B2B space. So we were selling software to companies like IBM and Salesforce. We did a sleep study with Rush University, a lot of these kind of random one-off projects. But what this did is really helped us develop this complex kind of Boolean logic style decision-making tree that serves as the backbone of our products today. And throughout all of those kind of random projects, we learned a lot about behavioral science, persuasion architecture to create this great experience. But in essence, we got really good at going to places where there was confusion and really helping talk people through it in a way that they hadn't previously been spoken to. And so we wanted to do something a little bit more mission driven, and that's where we ultimately ended up in the healthcare space, because as you all know, there's not much more confusing than healthcare overall. But really what we did is we took that user experience from the video games in our early days, sprinkled in the behavioral science insight, and now I get to make jokes that I sell cartoons for a living. But in all seriousness, really Jellyvision created the market in benefits communication back in the day. We're still the leaders in this space, and currently over 1,800 unique employers trust us to help their employees understand their benefits. And now we can switch more specifically to what we can offer here today. So our tool is called Alex. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as Alex Benefits Counselor. But what this is going to be a benefits engagement platform that's going to guide employees to the best value plan based on their own unique situation. So the tool is set up in the form of an interactive conversation, meaning that employees are going to be asked questions throughout their time inside the tool, and their answers are going to steer the conversation one way or another. So very similar to a choose your own adventure type of book or video game. But what's going to happen is in each different module, Alex is going to provide you high level information about a certain benefit. And then from there, employees are going to have the option to kind of go down these little different paths or subtopics depending on how they answer inside the tool. And what this does is allows us to emulate that one-on-one experience that most employees are asking for when it's time to select their benefits. Always asking, how does this fit my life? But explain it to me like I'm 5. Unfortunately, HR teams really don't have that type of patience, but Alex does, thankfully. But it's a really robust education of an employer's entire benefits suite. A couple of things that we'll talk about inside are medical, retirement, vision, dental, life, disability, critical illness, tax saving, things like HSA, FSA, also EAPs, additional benefits. So it really kind of helps employees understand the scope of the benefits available to them overall. And so it's a 12-month license, generally launches about 2 weeks before open enrollment. And while the majority of usage typically happens during open enrollment, what Alex is going to do is once an employer's enrollment period is over, it's automatically going to switch to what we refer to as new hired qualified life event mode. And so when employees go in, they'll ask, have you recently been hired? Have you had a qualifying life event? It's also available for those employees who might just want to come back, get a refresher on their benefits, and use those additional ones that they might necessarily looked at as closely at open enrollment specifically. But the platform is really easy for employees to engage with. There's no login required, super easy to use. And so each employer is going to have their own Alex link. In that link, Alex is going to speak to their unique plan design, so their premiums, their deductibles, their eligibility. And as long as an employee has that link and an internet connection, they can use it on whatever device that they prefer, cell phone, tablet, laptop. A lot of folks will take Alex home, walk through it with their spouse, but from an HR standpoint, it's really convenient to have a tool that not only provides a clear, consistent message, but allows employees to learn about our benefits at a time that's most convenient for them. Something important to note, Alex doesn't enroll employees in their benefits, but what we will do is at the end of the conversation, Alex is going to provide a summary and say, here's all the things you told me you're going to enroll in, and then we'll link them back directly to their enrollment site. And so we want to make it as easy as possible on that front. But I quickly want to go back to the behavioral science component, because I really think that's what sets us apart from other tools out in the market. And so really what this means is we've studied things like motivation, people's attention spans, the role that humor plays in learning about a new topic, all with the goal to get employees' minds to work in their favor. We want to combat those natural biases that people typically have with their benefits, because in the past, it's been really confusing and frankly boring, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. So inside of Alex, there are animations, there are some quirky jokes. You can ask Mike Walker himself. The voice of Alex is very memorable for sure, but everything inside the tool serves a purpose. And the end goal with all that behavioral science and the quirkiness and the delight really is to motivate employees to make better decisions when choosing and using their benefits overall. Now, I quickly want to touch on how Alex kind of fits in with that HR technology that some of your groups might be using. We understand how frustrating implementation can be, especially when it comes to setting up an EDI file, making sure things are launching correctly. The great thing with Alex here is that it's just going to lay on top of whatever HR technology your client is currently using. So on screen, handful of examples. These are just some of the many, Ben admins and, HR tech that things are using. But as long as a platform has the ability to host a hyperlink, we're going to put Alex where employees are already going, so it's easy for them to engage with. And again, too, at the end of Alex, we're going to include a link back to that enrollment page to make it as simple as possible. But because of this independence, we're not asking Alex to connect to another backend system. The tool itself starts up 99.6% of the time with no issue overall. And so now I want to pivot to and kind of go through this kind of short list of some typical cases we typically see as best fits for Alex to give you a good idea of, where would Alex potentially fit into your current communication strategy. So, once we go our separate ways today, maybe take some time and think about if any of your groups kind of fit the description on screen here. So I'm going to take a second here to kind of talk through some of these things and how Alex can provide that particular value. So that first one there with migrating employees to the best fit plans. Alex is always asking employees to think about the year ahead. And so specifically with the medical section, Alex is going to help employees estimate their healthcare usage, again, for that new plan year, and use that as a way to figure out what the best value plan is available to them overall. So when you talk about best fit, it's kind of both sides of the coin of neither being overinsured or underinsured. And so if you have groups that have specific benefits goals, whether that's migrating folks, the right folks into the high deductible plan, introducing new plans, these are really great kind of atypical cases that we can work with best. The next one there, reaching that disengaged and dispersed workforce. A lot of groups that might have different locations, employees working on different shifts. Like for example, we work pretty frequently in the logistics, healthcare, government space, finance, all of those things, and really kind of, again, providing that clear, consistent message that's scalable across, different departments and locations, especially too, if your HR team is already a little understaffed. We want to combat those repeat benefits questions we're seeing a little more frequently. And again, too, attracting and retaining that top talent. Alongside Alex, we want to make sure that current employees have a really good understanding of that investment that their employers are making and the benefits design that you've helped them craft overall, so that they feel more appreciated, they decide to stay. But also, too, we'll have groups that send out Alex to potential workers, so to candidates specifically, to say, hey, we want you to take a look at our benefits, see how great they are, and this is a pretty cool way to kind of showcase that a little bit. And then additionally to increasing those contributions and engagement to those tax deferred accounts. Alex does a great job of explaining the triple tax benefits of the HSA itself, but we can also include conversations about FSA, LFSA, and if groups really want to prioritize retirement education as well, the retirement module inside of Alex is super helpful. But from your perspective as the broker consultant, really Alex can help you by reducing that time and money that you need to spend on employee communications, and really helping your clients achieve their benefits goals, whether that's plan migration, introducing, or just kind of creating better overall awareness to the entire benefits package. And then finally, to meeting that demand for custom virtual communication support. I think a tool like Alex and this certain technology is becoming more and more asked in the market overall. And so, I wanted to share quickly how a partner consultant of Jellyvision's really found success with Alex to put some numbers to it. So we have a little case study here. So 160 life healthcare network with workers in 7 different locations, all on different shifts, really just kind of a nightmare for HR to try and navigate. But with this particular client, they tasked their consultant with finding something that was going to differentiate them from their competitors. And so their solution is they brought on Alex, because in this particular instance, there was tremendous value in making employees aware of the additional benefits outside of the core lines, again, which kind of goes back to building that brand of a company and making sure employees feel appreciated and valued. But also just the general investment from employers in employee education. It's one thing to have great benefits, but just to go that extra mile and really make sure that employees can determine with confidence, what's the best value plan for your lives. And that's a great win. And so you can also see on the bottom here how Alex was kind of able to help move that needle in year one. So increasing that participation in the high deductible plan, again, for those employees where it was the best value fit. And those who did enroll at high deductible had 2 times the HSA contributions in that. So when you talk about FICA tax savings from the employer and just better consumerism from the employee side overall, additionally to that increase in voluntary benefits adoption as well. As mentioned previously, the different lines of coverage that Alex can speak to, it's super robust. So when you talk about critical illness, accident, things of that nature, we can highlight those plans, which kind of goes back to the value that the VB shop is providing you as well. It's nice that inside of our tool, we can highlight some of those things and make sure that the strategy is carrying over a little bit more. And so quickly here, there's 2 major packages that we're going to be taking a look at. Really, for the sake of today, we're going to be focusing on the left side of the screen, which is Alex Essentials. So typically, this is going to be the best fit for groups under 1,000 benefits eligible employees. Once you get above that threshold, Advanced, which is a little bit more of that white glove service, definitely starts to become more in play. But really, we can have a conversation offline and kind of talk about a group size, but also their benefits goals, their communication needs to figure out what's going to be best fit. But that's pretty much all I had here today. We're really grateful to Mike and the VB shop for allowing us to present today. Their firm provides a lot of great value to brokers and consultants like yourself, and we're excited to add Alex to their suite of offerings. And so here is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out. We can include some separate time to do a demo of Alex, answer any of your specific questions, but really appreciate it. And I'll pass it back over to Mike.
Hey, Jack, thanks so much for taking the time to walk us through Jellyvision and Alex today. I did also want to point out, guys, that one of the ways that we can help in terms of an implementation of Jellyvision is obviously there's a cost for it. We've been highly successful in getting the voluntary benefits carriers to help offset the cost of an implementation of Jellyvision or those types of tools. So if you have clients that you think may be interested in this, and at the same time they have voluntary or they're looking to implement voluntary, sometimes you can do that in conjunction with each other and either reduce that cost to the client or yourself, or eliminate that cost to the client or yourself through the introduction of voluntary benefits. The voluntary benefits carriers are usually able to provide a subsidy that will help offset that cost, sometimes even eliminate that cost for the first year or two that they have it. So with that said, as you think about Jellyvision and you think about voluntary benefits, just know that we're here to help you, with that implementation, to pick the voluntary benefits that are going to work best in terms of helping to offset that cost and that type of thing. And so that's what we're here for. Jack, if you could just go to the next slide, please. Guys, I do want to update you on some of the updating webinars. Coming up on June the 9th, we have a webinar on the Chubb personal excess policy. That's kind of a voluntary umbrella policy, very relevant with your higher income earners. It's becoming a more popular kind of executive type of voluntary benefit. So if you're not familiar with that, please check that out. Again, it's becoming a more and more of a topic with your higher income earners. And then on June 23rd, we have the team from Parento on to talk about a program for paid parental leave from Parento. So that's becoming a hotter and hotter topic as the years go by. So that will be an interesting one as well on June 23rd. And then on July 7th, we have the team from Experian talking about their financial wellness product, which has an ID theft component, but it's a whole lot more than ID theft. So That's going to be, I think, a really hot product over the next few years. So I think you can get a jump on the competition by being part of that webinar on July the 7th. So those are the upcoming webinars. Next slide, Jack, and we'll wrap it up. So again, guys, Voluntary Benefits Shop, we're here to help you with all your voluntary benefits needs for your clients. So please feel free to reach out to us, whether it's about a specific client, some advice, a takeover, a comparison, whatever that case may be. Feel free to reach out to us. Again, we're here to help, or check out our website for our available services. And again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join. Jellyvision team, I appreciate you so much for being on today. Jack, thanks for taking the time to run through the presentation. And with that said, we will wrap it up for today. Talk to you again in 2 weeks, and enjoy the weekend, everyone.